Hello and a warm welcome to Federal special program Capital Beat. BJP held its state working committee meeting today in Lucknow, and this was attended by Yogi Adityanath, Smriti Irani, JP Nadda, and all MPs, MLAs, district president, corporation chairmen, mayors, and municipal chairpersons as well. Now, in the meeting, I'm told that there are several issues which were discussed, and say, for example, the public resentment which is growing against the BJP, that has been discussed. Then leaders and workers not being heard, that point also has been put forward. Then OBC and the Dalit votes, they are slipping away from the BJP, that probably has been discussed. In fighting within the party, that is another point which has been discussed. Removing the confusion about changing the constitution, because most of the BJP leaders and the cadre level workers, they have said that it was Congress and Samajwadi Party which misled the people and the voters of the BJP. That is what is being discussed. Now, all this meeting is coming in the backdrop of two videos which became viral till day before and yesterday. And one video was of MLA Ramesh Mishra, who's the MLA from Jaunpur Badlapur seat, and the other video is of Moti Singh. Moti Singh is a former senior minister of the BJP, the UP cabinet, and he pointed out that how bureaucracy is very, very dominant. They don't let the public representatives work. Similarly, Ramesh Mishra, who's the Badlapur MLA, he pointed out that BJP is on a slippery wicket and they are not in a position to win the 2027 Vidhan Sabha elections. But later on, both these gentlemen, they retracted from their statement, and for the reasons unknown, probably there could have been pressure on them because today was the state working committee meeting happening. So is all not well within the state unit of BJP? And will anybody have the guts really to pinpoint really and say that who is the person responsible for the big loss which BJP has faced in Uttar Pradesh? Is the fall guy going to be Prime Minister Modi, or is the fall guy going to be Yogi Adityanath? These are very crucial questions. And apparently in today's meeting, who's going to be the fall guy, that so far hasn't been discussed, except for the big pep talk which has been given so far by JP Nadda. So joining me now are two veterans from Uttar Pradesh. Sharad Pradhan, a political commentator and author, joins us. Thank you so much, Sharadji, for joining. And we have Shaira Naeem, who's a senior journalist, political commentator, joining us. Shaira ji, thank you so much for joining. And let me begin with Sharad Pradhan ji. What do you think has been the biggest takeaway of today's working committee meeting, coming as it does in the backdrop of these two videos, which became viral and they became such a big talking point? Yes, Sharad ji.
Well, Neelu, I think that the two videos are quite meaningful, and they reflect what a divided house BJP has become in Uttar Pradesh. This has been happening. It happened during the elections, pre-election and post-election. This has been on. And the fight is basically between Yogi Adityanath and Amit Shah. And Amit Shah, and of course, Amit Shah's, whether it is believed that even Modi is backing Amit Shah. And that's the reason that Yogi Adityanath is also not really in the good books of Modi. This is what is being. So, the anti-Yogi lobby has been very active since the elections, that to establish that Yogi Adityanath is responsible, because ultimately they had never imagined this kind of debacle that they faced in the Lok Sabha election this time. And so they had to find a scapegoat. They couldn't find since Modi and Amit Shah were known to be already quite averse to Yogi for various reasons, more reasons of Modi's succession than anything else. So they found it convenient to blame it all on Yogi, and there were rumors that Yogi would be shifted from Lucknow to Delhi or something. That he would not continue as chief minister. That has not happened till date, but that lobby really got active, and it was also alleged through a number of the various videos on the social media that there was a journalist, a Delhi-based journalist very close to Amit Shah, who was masterminding the whole thing, the campaign against Yogi Adityanath. and that has been on. And so Yogi naturally built his own lobby. Who succeeds was the point, I think, which is what was seemed to be the outline of today's discussions, because there, again, both were present there, and what this Mishra began with this video was a part of that anti-yogi lobby, because and on the other hand, Yogi's followers and those who believe, those who are strong, it's largely a caste divide between Thakurs. Yogi is perceived as a very, very pro Thakur leader. So the Thakurs have put up a front that no, Yogi was not given a free hand in either, not even heard in the selection of candidates. So how can you blame it on him? So, and which is what went about, where it was being reflected all along in today's meeting, from what I have heard through sources who have been present inside inside the closed door meeting. It is now, it remains to be seen who eventually takes the cake. It's a matter of time, but something is going to happen. Something drastic is likely to happen in UP in the next 1 or 2 months.
No, but if you're saying that something drastic is going to happen in 1 or 2 months, do you think that Yogi might be shifted out? And is he going to take all this lying down and very quietly he'll submit to whatever decision
Well,
the
I
central...
don't see. If this happens, I don't think Yogi will have any choice but to, no matter how weak, relatively weak, Modi might have become or Amit Shah might have become, but still they are strong enough to take on Yogi. And I don't think Yogi has the gumption to take on Modi and Amit Shah. If that happens, that he's asked to shift to Delhi, because even the RSS is divided on the issue, and BL Santosh, who is supposed to be very close to Modi and Shah, was here earlier this month to, it is believed that he was here to prepare ground for this event today. And he is certainly not very much inclined towards Yogi.
So, but Charaji, is there a possibility that some decisions have already been taken? I mean, and this meeting is just for the workers and the presidents and the municipal chairpersons who are there, and some big decisions, is there a possibility they might have already been taken?
You hit the nail on the head. That is how usually it happens in these, these kind of political parties, and more in the BJP. Decisions are already taken. This is more of a formality, and to give it a just a put up a facade of that everything is in order and things are going as per the party's constitution and the framework that they have evolved over the years. So, but fact of the matter is what you have said, that decisions must have been taken earlier. All this, they are only kind of joining the outlines.
Right. Okay, now let me come to Shaira ji. Shaira ji, what is your assessment about today's meeting, and especially when it comes to fixing the accountability for the big defeat which BJP has been staring at, what has happened in the Lok Sabha, and now you have another set of by-elections coming up in 10 seats, and of course the 2027 Vidhan Sabha elections. So what I'm told is that probably some kind of groundwork also has been prepared as to how now the BJP workers will go and reach out to the people, how they will convince the people, how they will recover the lost ground. But what is your sense? This is what is being floated around on the various news websites, and this is what one is getting to hear. But what are your sources telling you? What are you picking up from the people who are there, and what have you picked up from the meeting, from the working meeting today?
Yeah. Well, a lot has not come out. Whatever little we are reading between the lines, the message is very clear that it is a completely divided house, and it's a shadow boxing going on between Yogi and Amit Shah. So whatever the characters over here and the actors over here are playing out in UP, it is basically this part of this shadow boxing which is going on. And since we've had BJP has had a huge reversal in UP, and because of that, they did not get a complete majority. So somebody has to pay for that. And obviously, the election was fought in the name of Modi guarantee. He was the only person everywhere on the posters, on hoardings and on. But obviously, he, being the prime minister, will not be the fallman. So Yogi has to be held responsible for some way. So I don't see the next election being fought under him. Some kind of,
So you're
damage
saying the
control,
next
some
election
kind of.
will not be fought under Yogi Adityanath at least?
Yes, I have a feeling that he will be removed. He'll be, because it can't be done all of a sudden, because he also has his own set of supporters, and there'll be rumblings. So he'll be eased out. And one of the reasons I see why the by-elections in UP were not held along with the rest of the country is because of the scene on the ground being so divided. Because otherwise, yesterday we had by-elections everywhere else. Here, the numbers were also pretty high. There are 10 seats in one state altogether and spread all over the place. And secondly, is that the house is so divided. There's so much of infighting. There's so much of demoral. Today, hearing a little bit of Nadda, it was more of a pep talk than anything else. It was not a critical assessment of what went wrong and why. A lot of it has already appeared. Their surveys and meetings and all, a lot has come out. So basically, everybody knows why. And right from the beginning of the campaign, the division was very clear. The way the Thakurs were reacting when in UP for holding a meeting, there were so many restrictions, and the police was asking advance, list of invitees and their Aadhaar card if you are holding any kind of meeting. So when the model code of conduct was over here, and how did these huge Mahapanchayats were held in Western UP and a lot of other central UP with such a large number of people attended. So when the model code of conduct was in force. So the very fact that this was allowed to happen shows that it had, the nod of the people in power, meaning the chief minister. So it was very clear the way the campaign was going, and it came out. It came out because he didn't have a choice. It is said that he did not have a choice in the naming of candidates, and his people were not accommodated. And so we can't say sabotage, but obviously there was some kind of a right through the campaign that they were not on the same page. The whole party was not on the same page. The workers were not on the same page. So with this kind of divided house, and the opposition was able to build a narrative, and especially the ruling party gave them many opportunities. The major one being Lalu Singh's very famous speech of saying 400 par humko chahiye hai to change the constitution. So that was used very strategically by the opposition to spread the word that this is why they want 400. And for the first time in a election, the constitution became such a central figure. And that is why one of the reasons why they were able to shift the backward votes. And Akhilesh also played his cards very well. He walked his talk about PDA and gave the kind of distribution of tickets and all that. So on one side there was a cohesive opposition, and the other side there was the divided BJP. And whatever number of meetings and this that you put in, but if there's not a cohesive army, no amount of strategy is going to work. So it didn't work.
Right.
And
but now the question
29 seats.
Right. No, but now the question is that if no amount of strategies are working, and BJP seems to be losing its ground, and which looks very difficult to recover. Sharaji, I'll come to you now. That the kind of momentum which the opposition has already built. I was looking at some tweets by Akhilesh Yadav day before, yesterday only. He had said that, the PDA, the politics of PDA is quite positive looking as compared to the kind of politics which BJP is indulging in. And then he listed out a number of things that this is what we plan to do. This is how we plan to reach out to the people. So do you think that the BJP can really get back the same momentum which we saw in the last 10 years? Whether it is the coming by-elections or whether it is the 2027, because now the opposition will get stronger day by day. And how do you think BJP will recover the lost ground?
I don't think BJP, the name on the face which took BJP to new heights has lost its sheen, which is Narendra Modi. And one has seen over the past few months, the way Modi has been exposed, even a lot of bhakts, the blind followers, have started questioning the kind of politics, the kind of language to which he stooped down during the election campaign, the kind of Hindu-Muslim narrative, communal narrative he tried to build on and he was hoping to succeed on that, has completely failed. The recent elections the by-elections have also shown that people's minds, you can capture people's minds for some time, and you can fool some people sometimes, but you can't fool all people at all times. And I think it is still time that BJP realizes this and changes tack. Otherwise, the BJP is in for more debacles in the long run, because there is no way that they can recover, at least in Uttar Pradesh. This constitution, what Shahira pointed out, constitution, it's a fact that the way they went about, they were, this arrogance of power which gave them this overconfidence, then they can pull any narrative to their advantage, didn't work. And which is why it was their arrogance which made them completely made them blind to the ground reality. What is like it happens with all despots? The despots don't get objective opinions, objective advice, which is what happened in the BJP. And now to retrieve this lost ground, particularly because it was Rahul Gandhi who caught on this this constitution narrative, and it was largely because 4 BJP leaders, starting with Lallu Singh, who was the then MP of Ayodhya, who said that we want 400 seats because we want to change the constitution, because this constitution does not have any kind of Manusmriti reflecting in it, which was that is where Rahul caught the point and said that they are talking of Manusmriti, which means that they want to do away with the reservations for their scheduled castes and the backwards. And in a very short time, one was wondering whether he'll be able to make this narrative reach the grassroots level. But the way it traveled by word of mouth, because the opposition did not have any mechanism, with the entire mainstream media being completely under control of Modi, it was this narrative which went by word of mouth, and now it has gone deep down. And the way Mayawati, another turning point was when Mayawati stripped her own nephew, whom she had anointed as her successor a few days back, from the position that she had given him, simply because he criticized the BJP. That really confirmed with, exactly, and that became the game changer.
Yeah, it was the game changer.
Absolutely.
And a lot of Jatavs shifted after that, who were kind of still holding on to Mayawati.
Absolutely. But Charaji, another question, and then I'll come to Shaira, that what is the political arsenal on which BJP will really be banking on? Now, the fact that Ram Temple hasn't worked, it has lost out miserably. Now, Ayodhya hasn't voted for BJP. Now, another thing which has backfired is Badrinath yesterday in the by-elections. Badrinath people also have not voted for BJP. So basically this Hindutva card will not work, or this communal card might not work for BJP. So what else can BJP really bank on? The development narrative also hasn't worked. It works only when Prime Minister Modi was talking about it. Now that the credibility of the Modi factor also is in doldrums, so what is really BJP going to bank on as far as UP elections are concerned?
I think it will be a very tough task for them. They'll have to pull out something new, some card which they can but I don't see anything. There is nothing visible at the moment what they can thrive on. But because it's going to be a tough call for them. Now, once you are branded as a liar, once you are seen, perceived as somebody who does not talk on facts, who twists facts, who interpolates things, which is what has happened with Modi. So then once you start losing credibility, for especially somebody for whom there was a blind following, anybody their people are willing to were so had turned so crazy. It seemed that he had captured everybody's minds, and that is where he got this overconfidence of pulling anything that he would say, whether it was made sense or did not make sense, whether it was anywhere close to facts or it was completely cock and bull. Now to rebuild that is going to be a very tough task. But what Congress needs to do is to build its cadres. Congress lacks cadres. Congress cannot just depend on just one man, Rahul Gandhi, who is, in a state like UP, they don't have an organization. So they need to really pull up their socks. And another thing they have to guard against is BJP would try to, the only card that they would play, would try to strategically play, is to forge a divide in the opposition. They tried that in the beginning also, to somehow split the Congress from Samajwadi Party. And that is where Samajwadi Party has to guard. Because Samajwadi Party, certainly there are, it is said that BJP has people in the Samajwadi Party who are, there is some important people who are close to Amit Shah, and they could, really take things the wrong way. And so Akhilesh Yadav has to guard against that element.
Absolutely, and these are really the perils which are surrounded, as far as these political parties are concerned. But I'll just go back to that factor that will Yogi be eased out, as what we were discussing, Shaira. What do you think is going to be the impact on the political workers within Uttar Pradesh? If Yogi is eased out, there are a lot of Yogi supporters within the state. And if supposing he shifts from Lucknow to Delhi, though he would not have many options and he might just shift to Delhi. But then what is going to be the impact? His Hindu Yuva Vahini, his entire spectrum of supporters, what are they really going to do? And what is the kind of impact will BJP totally get disintegrated with the way the things are happening there, if Yogi is also eased out?
Yeah. Yogi's Yuva Vahini has been defunct ever since he came back to power. Because Yogi, if you remember, has never been a BJP and RSS person. He was a Hindu Mahasabha person with a lot of clout in eastern UP, in the Purvanchal, with his Lumpan Yuva Vahini, which did a lot of extra legal things like burning down trains, disrupting tracks, things for which now he applies gangster and UAPA. His entire Vahini should be behind bars. So when he came, one of the things which he had to do to be a constitutional person in running a government was to detach himself from the Vahini. That was one of the things he did right in the beginning in 17. In fact, a lot of his very close people in the Vahini were very disillusioned because they were hoping for the, a piece of the pie, which they didn't get. And he almost refused to even acknowledge their presence. So Vahini is out. So he since he's not a card from the mainstream BJP cadre, he doesn't have that kind of support, nor is he from the RSS. So whatever clout he has is his very personal clout, and mainly he has been functioning through the bureaucracy. He has a committed bureaucracy through which he has been able to do whatever he has done, good, bad, indifferent. So, and the other thing is that he's emerged. He's a Thakur leader, so he is partisan to an extent that he supports, and the bureaucracy also at the lower level also the Thakurs have got his support. So and because the Thakurs were not, according to them, were not given fair share, is why we have this kind of result in UP. So I feel that it would be, there would be backlash, but it would not be a, it wouldn't be done suddenly. Like if the result would have been a little worse, maybe it would have he would have already been removed. The fact that he has not been removed, and the fact that the central government is also not what it was before this election, is he's giving him some kind of breathing space to do some kind of course correction. But we don't see any course correction happening. And as you said, the arsenal in the BJP armory are very limited. They don't have too much. They've tried most of the things. Now the ration has not worked. The Hindutva thing has not worked. The divide and rule thing has also its diminishing returns now at this point of time. So what are they going to do? The Viksit Bharat का तो अभी फर्स्ट मानसून ने ही जो है वो सारा पोल खोल दिया. Roads have sunk. The new airport, which is inaugurated right in March, was the Lucknow airport, was leaking. The day I came, it was leaking all over. So the Viksit Bharat has huge holes all over the place. People are now questioning this kind of development, and virtually UP, and not only UP alone, it's become a colony of Gujarat. All the contracts are being given to Gujarati contractors, whether it's in Ayodhya, whether it's in Kashi, or here, or in other places. So this is also being resented a lot, even by the BJP cadre, because they feel that we have a double engine ki sarkar, and all this work should have come to us, and it's being kind of diverted to Gujarat. So in fact, one of the very spokesperson had resigned from BJP on this ground itself, and he joined the Samajwadi Party. So and then it seems as if the BJP is just not ready to learn a lesson, because the kind of massive demolition they had in Kashi and in Ayodhya, now they're starting it in Lucknow. In Lucknow, it has already started, and to the extent that people are very upset. They're on the streets, they're protesting, and Akbar Nagar was predominantly Muslim dominated, but the other colonies which are now going to be targeted are mixed. Some of them are purely non-Muslims, and they're very upset. They are BJP supporters, and they're feeling very, they're feeling high and dry that they've been abandoned by the party which they have supported. So there's been no course correction. Not They should have learned a lesson from what Ayodhya and Kashi could do to the popular image of BJP. So I don't see, unless they come up with some kind of more positive, more vision, which I don't see happening in the near future. Because now the next thing that they are focusing on is the Kawadiyas. Now the Kawadiyas is going to, the month of Savan, and you see the Kawadiyas, the way they are going to be treated as VIPs, and the whole state would come to a standstill. So it's the same religious card which is being played again and again. So I don't see much changing. And if things go like this, then obviously the opposition by default will have an upper hand. But then again, I would say what Sharad said, that the Congress should not think that they did so well because of their strength. If they would have been so good, why didn't they win a single seat in Madhya Pradesh? Why did they do so badly in Chhattisgarh, in Himachal, where they had governments? So it is only where they had strong partners that they could perform. So how long can you depend on your partners? You don't have a cadre, and and you have more arrogance than is required. So
So
they
Shairaj,
also have to pull.
so towards the end, at the end of today's meeting, the working committee meeting which has happened in Lucknow, what would be the big takeaways according to you for Modi, for the central leadership of BJP? Very briefly.
It has to be if it is an honest kind of introspection, and the entire, from the top to the bottom, everybody is held responsible for what has happened in UP, then then unless you acknowledge the way you went wrong, you cannot correct yourself and move ahead. If it's only lipa poti and blaming, one person who says that he did not have a say, is not going to help. It will lead to more infighting. It would not be an honest assessment. And out of a dishonest assessment, only a dishonest strategy can be made, which would not work.
And I would say that the jury is still out whether an honest introspection has happened on today's working committee meeting. Because what we heard was only the pep talk, but there is a lot of disgruntlement within the BJP cadres, and which has surfaced out in many forms, in many manifestations. But will the party address those disgruntled party workers? Will Prime Minister Narendra Modi really walk up to these people, talk to them, try and understand what has really gone wrong in Uttar Pradesh? I would again say the jury is out on that. Thank you so much, Chaira ji, for joining on The Federal. And one appeal to the viewers who are watching this discussion: subscribe to our channel, send us your feedback, and stay tuned to The Federal.